Texas Senator John Cornyn. Senator, always good to see you, sir. Thank you for making
Thank you very
time
much.
for us. Here's Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem about how Democrats are taking a very big risk with this anti-ICE messaging. Watch.
We're concerned about the Department of Homeland Security not being funded. In fact, I think it's the wrong message to send to the world at this point in time. When you think about it, every other portion of the federal government has been funded except Homeland Security. That's telling the rest of the world the Democrat Party doesn't think that protecting America is safe. It's the wrong message to send. They keep talking about the fact that they want ICE's operations to be impacted, but only 11% of that bill is ICE.
Senator, as she mentioned, it's 11% of the bill. It's one of the largest departments in the federal government. It also covers U.S. Custom and Border Protection, the Secret Service, the Coast Guard, the TSA, the Federal Protective Service, and FEMA, among others. Is this really just defund the police 2.0 at this point?
Well, they've certainly taken the wrong hostage. And yes, I think this is the party of defund police. Abolish ICE, and they don't want us enforcing immigration laws. And obviously President Trump and Republicans won the election in last November based on our commitment to secure the border and enforce the law. And President Trump has done exactly what he said he would do and what the voters called for. And you know, this hostage they've taken is not going to do anything to defund ICE. We've actually, in the Working Family Tax Cuts Act, we provided additional funds for DHS and ICE. What it does, as you point out, it affects other agencies like the Transportation Security Agency that provides security at airports, the Federal Emergency Management Agency that helps states and localities deal with emergencies. So they've taken the wrong hostage, and I think this is going to prove to be a bad mistake.
You've been an integral part of the Senate hearings recently on the Somali fraud in Minnesota. You spoke about numerous examples of illegal aliens arrested for crimes who've also been receiving Medicaid benefits. Senator, what does accountability look like here?
Well, we started the accountability during the Working Family Tax Cuts Act bill because we said that illegal aliens were not eligible for Medicaid. And that was already the law, but that was not being enforced in many of the blue states. But it's gotten a lot further than that because this Somali daycare fraud issue demonstrates what happens when the federal government appropriates money then goes to non-governmental organizations or other contractors without much accountability or follow-through. And I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. So this is just the beginning of what I hope will be a comprehensive investigation and prevent the fraudsters from stealing from the American taxpayer.
You know, I think people are looking for an investigation, but they're also looking for more. The Government Accountability Office estimates that the federal government loses between $233 billion and $521 billion, $500 billion annually to fraud and abuse. Do Republicans have a plan to address this fraud through reforms of these systems?
Well, I believe that Russ Vought at the Office of Management and Budget is already on the case. We've seen President Trump cut back on the federal workforce and some of the money that's been shoveled out the door to things like USAID, foreign aid, which does not serve our national interest or support our foreign policy. So this is an ongoing process. But I think we are asking for everything from the Department of Justice to investigate these bonus subsidies that insurance companies have gotten for which they have paid for policies that nobody used in the Obamacare exchanges. So this is vast and it's deep. And as you point out, there's billions of dollars at stake. So I think all of this is coming together, but it can't happen fast enough.
Yeah, and it's certainly been going on a long time. Also, this week, the House voted to pass the Save America Act. Large majorities, as you know, Senator, of Americans support voter ID. Democrat leaders do not. Do you believe the Senate Republicans will be able to pass this bill or an alternative version so that we can at least make some progress on protecting our elections?
I believe at last count, we have 50 co-sponsors for the Save America Act, as you pointed out, passed by the House of Representatives. And, this is, to me, it's just, it's mind-boggling. Democrats don't want voter ID for voters when you have to use this from everything to get into a federal building to, buy a beer or certainly get on an airplane. So it seems like they don't want to enforce the immigration laws and they want to make it easier for people to cheat. They're obviously on the wrong side of this issue, and I think we're going to have to make this a emphasis during the midterm campaigns. But I know that Senator Thune, the Senate Majority Leader, is looking closely at how best to put this on the Senate floor with maximizing the chances for a positive outcome. But I think this will happen soon.
All right. Finally and quickly for me, sir, you introduced a bill this week to make Islamic Sharia law a violation of the Civil Rights Act. Talk to us about this legislation.
Well, obviously, people have always come here to America from around the world, different religions, different ethnicities, through legal means, and they have then been assimilated into the American population and because they have committed to sharing our basic values. Unfortunately, due to the open border policies of the Biden administration, we have a large number of people who are in this country who have not become assimilated, who do not share our values, including practitioners of radical or political Islam, who believe that Sharia law should replace the laws and constitution under which we are governed. That's unacceptable, and this bill is designed to push back against those attempts and to highlight the threat that it presents.
John Cornyn of the great state of Texas. Senator, thank you very much. We appreciate you being with us today.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.